Hi, happy Friday, everyone. I hope you've had a great week. It's been a wonderful week for me. I've had the opportunity to have our youngest grandson, Darius, with us since last Saturday. And the topic today that I want to share about is breaking the cycle in our family, the negative cycle. What does that mean? Hi, good morning. My name is Valerie. I'm with Heart Thoughts with Valerie Ann. I want to invite you to pull up a chair, pour yourself a cup of coffee, and let's just sit and have a heart-to-heart. How does that sound? You know, I was out having coffee with Andy this morning on the deck, and we were talking about things that we know we don't want in our life. Certain things. We don't want outcomes. And Andy pointed out something that's very significant to this truth that I'm going to share today. Half of getting what you know you want is knowing what you don't want, right? Have you ever wondered about that? Have you ever thought to yourself, I don't want that in my life. I don't want that in my life. Let's talk about this for a minute, guys. How many of you came from a perfect family and it's always been love and comfort and you felt peaceful and joyful? Not I. Not I. I was raised as a child in a lot of fear. And the reason I'm bringing this up today is because I think it's a subject that needs to be addressed. I think a lot of times we have a habitual action in living in fear simply because as children we grew up in fear. I grew up in fear. I was scared to death of my dad. And you know, I may have family members that watch this video and judge me for this. Sorry guys, the truth is the truth. I was afraid of my father. I had a stepmom that I didn't get along well with. She was very mean to us. And I will admit, she had two daughters dumped on her, unbeknownst to her. So I can understand the anger that she had to go through because of that. But still, it wasn't fair to me. But you know, here's the deal, guys. I chose that for some reason. So why am I bringing this up today? Well, you know, part of my group is being raw and telling the truth. And sometimes, like Lisa Nichols says, that truth comes wrapped in sandpaper and it doesn't feel good. But the end result is a beautiful outcome. So I want to share with you, I fight fear a lot and I have to push through that. And part of that is habitual. And I'm so grateful for my partner, Andy, because he has allowed me the opportunity in sharing his truth that sometimes the things we do are out of habit. That doesn't make them right or wrong. It just makes them a habit. And the only way we can change that habit is if we first and foremost become aware of what we are thinking, of what we are saying, and of what we are doing. Last night, Andy and I were playing Jenga with our grandson, Darius. And I was watching him and he was so joyful and in the moment and just so happy and full of love and full of childlike energy. And here's the thought that came to my mind. When I was his age, I never had that experience. I was so afraid of messing up because I would be in trouble by my dad. My dad was very militant. So I never had the experience of being childlike and having fun. If I did, it wasn't around my home. It was in someone else's home. So here's why I'm bringing this up. I'm so happy to report that the cycle in our family has been broken. My daughters were not raised in fear. My daughters were raised in believing in themselves and loving themselves. And because of that, they are also raising their children that way. I am very proud of my kids and I'm very grateful to say the cycle has been broken. And guys, this is some raw truth, even in my alcoholism. This cycle has been broken. My father was a terrible alcoholic. On my mother's side, there was a lot of alcoholics. And some family members don't like to talk about it, but you know what? I don't care. It's the truth that sets us free. And until we admit we need help and we are in trouble emotionally, we're not going to get help. You know what? We are as sick as our secrets. Are you guys holding secrets today? Are you holding secrets and really wanting help to get rid of the fear that you've been raised in and that are now as adults living in still? But you're afraid to admit it because, oh my God, what will so-and-so think? Can I give you something to think about? The only person's opinion that matters is yourself. And then, if you allow it, your partner. Any outside circumstance, let me tell you something, guys. People don't think about us and care about us near like we think they do. You are in charge of your life. Are you living in fear today? Do you find yourself not resting well at night because you're still going through all the emotions that you had even as a child? What about this? And I'm speaking to ladies primarily, but really men deal with this as well. Our self-image. What about our body image? Are you happy with where you are today? Or do you think if you could just change this or change that, you would feel happier? Can I share something with you? Be happy where you're at. Find contentment and perfection in the perfect love that you are today. And then, if you want to make changes that are positive for you, go for it. But don't do it because you think you're going to be loved more or be a better person. You're already enough. Do you have fear? Do you have fear that blocks you from being childlike, like my grandson was last night? I'm so thankful for the time I've had with him because it's reminded me how important it is to stay in the moment and to be present in full, blown out energy, happy energy. Sometimes do you feel like, oh my God, I don't know why, I'm just tired, I'm drained. The only thing I want to do is take a nap. Do you ever go through those emotions? I sure do. I sure do. And granted, I will say, life can be tough sometimes. But the reality is, guys, none of us know when we're going to be leaving this earth school. Cherish every moment. You know, today I posted on my Facebook page a picture of a young hand and a hand of an elderly person, and they were holding hands together. And it shows you the cycle of life. And the question that came to me is the dash. The dash on the day I was born, and then the dash in between the day I'm born and the day that I cross over. What am I doing with that dash? Am I fully present today? Am I fully accepting who I am today? Even if I'm not a perfect size, whatever it is to you. Even if the scales don't say a certain number, whatever that is to you. Good morning, Betsy. I'm so glad you're on today. I hope you have a beautiful day today. Thank you for joining me. Back to the body image thing. Do we set our standards so high that, and may I add, we set them because of other people's opinion of us? Can I encourage you to go within today and to understand that you came here fully equipped for everything on your journey? First and foremost, you are perfect love. And if the only thing you can accomplish today is just showing and sharing love, first to yourself and those around you, you've had a great day. You know, once again, like I said the other day, we are in Mercury retrograde. It started July 7th. It will be over the 31st of July. 3.5 weeks of energy that can create chaos, crazy thinking, uneasiness, restful nights rest, no rest at night in some cases, tossing and turning, changing our mindset, you know, whatever. But I shared a couple days ago that we can still intend peace and faith, right? So back to the very first topic. Are you living in fear today? Are you looking up waiting for the next shoe to drop? Can I get you to stop dead in your tracks, look yourself in the mirror and say, enough already? What I'm going to do is look in the mirror and say this. First and foremost, I love you. And you are enough. If nothing else was performed by you today, what you are is enough. Remember how I've said share your fingerprint with the world? How can you do that today? Maybe by picking up the phone and calling someone and say, hey, I just have you on my heart. I want you to know that I love and appreciate you, and I think you're amazing. I hope you have a great weekend. What about smiling at a stranger while you're grocery shopping? What about helping an elderly person that needs assistance? What about making sure your partner knows how precious and irreplaceable they are? And then most importantly, what about you? What can you do today for self-care? Have you had time alone for 5 minutes just meditating today already? I make sure I get up and get that done first thing in the morning, because especially with my grandson here for the week, we hit the ground running. And that's a beautiful thing. But we still must take care of ourselves. What about all of us who are caregivers for our loved ones? Some with Alzheimer's, some that are handicapped, whatever it is. Are you taking care of yourself? Because if you're not, here's the deal. Fear will jump in there. Fear will jump in there. Can you get rid of the fear? Face everything and rise. That's what fear means. Face everything and rise. Can you face the fact that what happened to you as a child, even though it may have been part of your life, it isn't your life now? How can I say that? Because guys, life is in the moment. Right now. We are right here in the moment. This is our life right now. What happened to me yesterday, a month ago, 2 years ago, it's not even alive anymore. I don't need to keep the dust around in my house. Let it go. Isn't it wonderful? You know, on my gratitude list today, one of the things that I wrote down is I am so grateful that today is a new day and I can begin again. Can you begin again? Are you having reminders of what happened to you when you were a child that you haven't dealt with? Let me give you a quick hint. First and foremost, I'm not putting psychiatrists down or therapists at all. I'm not, and some people really need to go to those. But I can tell you something that I know for a fact. They will keep you coming back and regurgitating all that shit for years if you let them. How about you take charge? And you say, you know what? That stuff happened to me when I was younger, or I went through this challenge when I was younger. I didn't have my mom when I was younger. I'm reaping all. Stop it already and say, guess what? I get to be the parent to myself that I didn't have when I was younger. Get rid of the fear. Drop the fear. Face everything and rise. You know, we only have 2 things to think about when we come to live. Faith and fear. Love and fear. Everything. That's it. Those are your headings. What are you going to choose today to be driven by? Faith or fear? And the beautiful thing about all of this is that you are in charge. You get to be the one behind the steering wheel of your vehicle. You get to drive your life. If you're depending on other people to tell you what to do, girlfriend, boyfriend, let me tell you something. Step out of that need for approval and take charge of your world. Get rid of the fear, face everything and rise, and understand that you deserve peace, joy. And here's what's beautiful, guys. I get so excited sharing this. If we focus on staying in the present moment, which is where our power lies, by the way, then that's where we're at. And we don't have to worry about other things. Now, that's not to say to prepare for your future, but your energetic field needs to be in the very present moment of right now. This is your life. What are you doing for your life today? What are you doing for you? Are you feeding your fear or are you starving your fear? How do you starve your fear? By not focusing on it. How do you feed it? By focusing on it. Do you remember what I've shared in the past? What we focus on expands. You know, I went through that not very long ago. I had a fear, and I'm not going to share it right now because it's irrelevant, but I had a fear, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The problem didn't get bigger. The fear got bigger. Half of the things 90% of the things we worry about, guys, don't come true anyway. How about you stay in the state of awareness, and when you feel fear rising up, you can stop where you're at in love and kindness towards yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to face everything and rise. Fear can also be your friend. It doesn't have to be your enemy, but you don't have to feed it. You can starve it today. So, how are you breaking the cycle in your life? Are there habits in your life that you have followed that have not served you well? You know, you can break those. And it doesn't take going to years of therapy over it, having people tell you this is what you need to do step by step. That's hogwash. And I know I may sound like I'm preaching against that. I'm really not. If you need it, go for it. But understand, guys, you've got the answers within you. You've got the answers within you. Sit in stillness, sit in quietness, and know that when you seek, you will find. I hope you have a beautiful Friday today. I am sending you so much love, and I'm asking you to rise above your fear today. Break the cycle. Watch what you have given to your family now that is lively and full of love. And congratulate yourself for that. You did that. And then remember one thing. You are worthy, and you have all the answers deep inside of you. Sit in the stillness of the moment and find those answers. Again, I'm sending you loads of love, and I'm trusting that these episodes are teaching you that you've already got this, girl, guy. You've got it. Take a moment to recognize the fact that you get to drive your own vehicle for life. This is up to you. We all have choices. What are you going to choose today, fear or faith? Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.